Live from our studios, somewhere in cyberspace, it's Beats and Eats, a happy hour for your mind. The virtual lounge is open, so come inside, grab a stool, and your drink of choice. Make mine a Guinness. And now, here are your hosts, Ty Ray and Nick Gelso.
The virtual lounge is open. It's Ty Ray, Nick Gelso, Scott Mitchell pouring the drinks. It's the happy hour for the mind. It's Beats and Eats. And on today's program, we have a very special guest. It's Michael Sweet from the legendary metal group Stryper. He will be in the virtual lounge shortly to talk about his new album, which is called One-Sided War, and Stryper's new tour, the 30th anniversary tour, To Hell with the Devil, to celebrate that monster record that took place and was out 30 years ago and took MTV by storm. And Nick, while we're talking MTV, before we get there, let's give out our Twitter handles.
Yeah, I'm at CLNS_Nick.
And
you are
Coog88.
Coog. And it's still tricky, dude.
It's at Beat, the letter, and Eats. And Nick, I'd mentioned MTV previously. I take it you did not watch the VMAs.
Ty, I don't even know what channel MTV is. Matter of fact, I forgot MTV even existed until I saw an MTV news correspondent on MSNBC the other day. Yeah.
Do you know their name? I didn't know that.
No.
Where's Kurt Loder?
That's what I wanted to know. Where's Kurt Loder? Exactly. At least he had some. Did he have credit? He had more credibility than this guy. They're trying to put on a very smart face MTV, because I think they realized they sold out on music, went the trash route, and now the trash always has a shelf life, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. It's got its 15 minutes. And the VMAs, Nick. The VMAs, well, hell, that may have a very short shelf life, too, if it keeps going at this rate. 6.5 million viewers for the new VMAs. Of course, Beyonce won 8 of them. And I looked at the lineup. Don't get me wrong. Beyonce is an amazing talent. I think both you and I can admit that, even though it's not our style of music. It's not my favorite genre of music. She's an amazing talent, no doubt about it. But then you go down the list: Britney Spears, Rihanna, Justin Bieber. Is it any wonder?
Well,
viewership is plummeting.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, but that whole format's stale. The VMAs. Think about what we're talking. The video, are they the MTV Music Awards or the Video Music Awards?
Video Music Awards, yeah, MTV.
Right, so the VMA, and there's no videos. So, I mean, like, the VMAs were awesome because everybody was trying to one-up everybody else back in the day, right? They were trying to make it, it was a competitive environment between musicians. It wasn't just because we liked the music. I mean, I didn't always love the Beastie Boys, but I enjoyed their videos, and then you had, the king of video making, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, just outdoing everyone. But even Genesis, like, think about the videos they came out with. How about Peter Gabriel?
Exactly.
I mean, these were just amazing, great videos.
Right, amazing innovation back then. And I also contend that in the days of yore, we had more diversity as far as music is concerned. You could hear anything. You could hear anything from Tracy Chapman to Van Halen, for crying out loud. I don't see that nowadays.
Well, there's just not. They're not. To me, all the music sounds the same. Now, we sound like two grumpy old men.
We do, but
let's face it. You want to talk about diversity. Think about, and we talked about our pre-production meeting, because we're such big radio broadcasters here. We have pre-production meetings. We discussed Stryper versus Poison or Motley Crue, right? Now that's diversity. It's the same genre, and it's how much more polar opposites can you get in your messaging?
And this is what we'll talk to with Michael Sweet from Stryper, co-founder of Stryper, legendary metal Christian, man. This was a big deal back in the 80s, man. So while Motley Crue's on stage, and Iron Maiden with the Number of the Beast and all that, you had Michael Sweet and Stryper out there throwing Bibles at the audience. It was great stuff. And their album,
the music was good.
Oh, it was terrific. Great hooks. Yeah. And they could rock with anybody. And their album in 1986, of course, To Hell with the Devil, more than 2 million copies sold. They had 2 songs in MTV's top 10 at the same time with Free and Honestly, serious power ballads, Calling on You, another great track. And they're back with their 30th anniversary tour of To Hell with the Devil. And, Nick, I'm wondering if anybody we saw on the VMAs the other night is going to be out on their 30th anniversary tour.
You had Van Halen on one end singing Running with the Devil, and then you had Stryper singing To Hell with the Devil. I mean, like the messaging couldn't be more diverse, and you're damn right. I mean, you're not seeing it today. You're really not.
No, you're not seeing any of that diversity at all. And so, Nick, love Blue Apron, Nick. You got to love free meals, free, fresh meals. It's worth the try. Trust me on this one, Nick.
Ty, absolutely outstanding. And for less than $10 a meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Blue Apron knows that when you cook with incredible ingredients, you make incredible meals. So they set the highest quality standard for their community of artisanal suppliers, family-run farms, fisheries, and ranchers. This month, Summer Vegetable and Quinoa Bowl, that has fairy tale, eggplant, and shishito peppers and corn, chicken tinga tacos with summer squash and tomato salsa, and you could try it for free. Ty, for free is for me. That's go to blueapron.com/beats and eats. There you'll get 3 free meals and free shipping. No risk involved.
Do you know if they have breakfast, Blue Apron? Did they have breakfast meals at all?
I have been a member now, and I don't know. I think I'll never cancel, to be honest with you, Ty. My grocery bills have dropped drastically. I'm not buying any proteins at the grocery store anymore. And you don't have to buy like 5-pound things of chicken because they give it to you pre-portioned. I'm only one person here, but I've not yet gotten breakfast. That doesn't mean to say you won't get a breakfast style meal that you could serve in the evening. There is a lot of egg ingredients and stuff. I wouldn't say a lot, but a couple of the recipes have it. Breakfast per se, haven't gotten it yet, doesn't mean it's not coming. I'm telling you, it's like Christmas Day every Friday when Blue Apron arrives at my front door.
Yeah, it's a great product, fresh ingredients, and something, Nick, you and I haven't talked about, something to do with your family, right?
That's
your kids can cook with you. How much fun is that? We spend far too much time going out to eat at restaurants, and it's getting more and more obvious we need to stay at home, be more family-like, cook with the kids. Blue Apron gives you a great product to do that with.
So start doing it. BlueApron.com/beats and eats. There you get 3 free meals and free shipping. Ty,
let's welcome Michael Sweet from Stryper, and he's got a brand new solo album out to One Sided War. Let's welcome Michael into the virtual lounge.
Sounds good.
Don't touch that dial. Nick and Ty will be right back with more Beats and Eats.
Hey, what's going on?
No, not much, man. It's Ty Ray from Beats and Eats. I am so happy that you've decided to join me today. This is very cool.
Absolutely, man. Well, thanks for having me.
You bet. So we're going to talk the 30th anniversary of To Hell with the Devil tour. But first, I want to talk about your new solo album. Congratulations on One Sided War.
Thank you very much, man. I'm excited. It comes out this Friday. And, well, if you're aired already. And, yeah, man, it's exciting. I couldn't be more happy with what's going on in my life musically, and I'm just thrilled to still be doing it, man. Crazy.
Well, how have you survived this roller coaster we call the music industry, right? I mean, there have been so many changes since Stryper took the nation by storm in 1986, and yet you've survived and thrived.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because a lot of bands haven't. A lot of bands are dead and gone and broke up or disbanded or whatever, or no original members or one original member, and here we are, Stryper, going out with the original members, and it's kind of crazy. And I think, I give credit to God for sure. Everybody knows I have a deep faith in God, and I'm a Christian, and I'm a believer, man. So, I give credit there for sure. But I'm also made up to be a fighter, a survivor. I don't accept the word no. I don't accept the phrase, you can't do it. I never have. And when I was a little kid, never did. And it's just how I'm built, man. And I'm a very determined person. I have a lot of drive, and I'm not going to stop till they're throwing the dirt over my coffin. It's just it's the way it is.
Yeah, and Michael, I think one of the keys to the success in yours and Stryper's longevity has been transparency. Would you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, love us or hate us, mock us or applaud us, we've always stayed true to who we are and what we're all about. And we've always been open about that and upfront about that. We've never tried to hide anything. And that even goes for our shortcomings. We've had our ups and downs. We're sinners like anybody else, and we have weaknesses like anybody else, and we talk about that. We don't stand on a pulpit and say praise the Lord, but and then we go back and close the door, and we've got 5 hookers back there.
All right, sure.
Or if we fell into a trap like that, which we have before, we would say, hey, this is what's going on. We wouldn't hide it for 5 years, and then it comes out as a scandal,
Well, I can remember, Michael, way back in the days of the Covered Wagon days when I was a DJ in the mid-'80s, and we used to play these records we would get from like the King Biscuit Flower Hour or whatever, and right. I remember there was an interview with you way back when, and trying to reconcile the girls coming backstage with your image, and it couldn't have been easy, especially being that young.
No, it wasn't, and I mean, it happened a lot, probably just as much as any other band out there. We got it. We got it all the time. I mean, we'd, be going to our hotel room, and I'd turn a corner, and there's my hotel room, and there's 3 girls waiting at the door. How they found out what room I was in, I had no idea. But they're standing there, at the door, and I'm like, okay. Or we went backstage, and there's 2 girls backstage, and they're getting undressed. I mean, that happened before, and all those stories you hear about any other rock band, that happened with us. But the difference with us, and I can sit here with a straight face and a pure heart and tell you this is what went down. We would walk into a situation like that and see it, and then walk right out. And I'd say to my tour manager, Tom, hey dude, can you come here? And he'd escort them out. And that's just the way it was, man. If people want to call us prudes or pussies or whatever they want to call us, that's fine.
Well, the bottom line is you stuck it out, you stuck together, and here you are 30 years later. You got your 7th solo album out right now, One Sided War, right?
Yeah, it's coming out, and it's 7th. Technically, it's my 8th, but yeah, it's my 7th album, studio album, and I'm kind of sitting here in shock and disbelief. I'm very grateful and humbled that I'm still sitting here and doing it and enjoying every second of it.
Love the video for radio, because as a guy who loves rock and roll, it's gone from radio, right?
Yeah.
And the only time you can hear a guitar on a song is in a country song. So what was the inspiration for this song called Radio?
Well, you know what, man? Look, it's supposed to be funny. You're supposed to watch it and smile and laugh. It's not mean-spirited. It's not like me in an angry way lashing out at guys that are rock stars trying to become country stars. But it is kind of, it's a parody on guys that are rock stars who are trying to become country stars. We all know who they are. We don't need to mention names. And I just find it very odd that someone, is a rocker for their entire lives of 50 or 60 years, and then all of a sudden they decide they're going to go to Nashville and become a country star. And I don't know if it's because rock isn't thriving now and country is. I'm not really sure. I go to Nashville and I co-write with country writers. I grew up around country. My dad wrote a #1 country song in 1976 called I Don't Want to Have to Marry You. I know country. I literally have lived in country music my entire life. But I still wouldn't ever try to be a country star. I'm not a country star. I'm a rocker.
Well, and that goes with the whole thing I talked about earlier, which is being honest and transparent with your fans. People can see through that nonsense.
I think so. And, it's weird. It's interesting because for some reason, in some cases, that's acceptable because some of these guys have success at it.
Yeah.
They go from a rock band to a country setting and they become big stars. Not all the time, but occasionally. It's rare, but it has happened. But just to reverse that and just imagine for a second, how would it be perceived or received if country stars started becoming metal guys?
Yeah, not very well.
I mean, it would be kind of laughable, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
So to me, it doesn't really make sense reversed either.
No, it doesn't to me. And to be honest, I mean, that's why it was so good to listen to the tracks off of One-Sided War. And this sucker rocks, man.
Well, good, man. I'm glad. And I went into the studio, as did all the other guys involved, Joel Hoekstra, Will Hunt, John O'Boyle on bass, Ethan Brosh, guitar, Mariah Formica singing on a song. You know, all these people went in with this sense of urgency and this incredible energy and excitement. Like, let's do this, you know? And I think that has carried over onto the tracks themselves.
And you can definitely hear that. I mean, there is, I don't want to use the word aggression, but is that fair?
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. Absolutely. And everyone is aggressively playing with a smile on their face.
Sure.
But, you know, we loved every minute of it, man. It was the funnest album to make. And I think that comes through. And I can't wait for the world to hear all the songs and just listen to the album as a whole and get it and go, wow. You know, because, you know, there's some different turns that I take on the album. You know, you go from a song like Radio to a song like I Am to a song like Golden Age. I mean, they're all different.
And that makes it fun, too. So how long did this take you to write, Michael?
You know what, man? This album, I did a deal with Rat Pack, and we said, okay, it's time to do it. And I sat down with a drum program on my computer, and it took me about 10 days to put all the songs together. I went to Nashville for one day, and I co-wrote a couple of the songs, oddly enough, with a couple of really big writers there that just so happen to write lots of country songs, even some number one songs. But it's not Radio. It's not the song Radio.
I bet.
I did that one on my own, so I'll take the heat for it. But, you know, the song One-Sided War is a co-write with Blair Daly, who's written lots of big songs. Uncle Cracker, Smile was one of them. And then I co-wrote the song Only You with Bruce Wallace, who's also a really big writer in Nashville.
Great experience.
Oh, yeah, man. I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I love it. Those guys open their doors to me, and they're Stryper fans, and I'm fans of theirs, man. And to be accepted in Nashville by some of these guys is truly humbling. Really is.
And here you are, man. 30th anniversary tour of To Hell with the Devil coming up this fall. This is really cool. Perfect timing. 30 years. And let me tell you something, Michael. I just came back from an 80s cruise. There were no metal acts on the boat, but we're talking Huey Lewis and the News and Starship. And 80s fans are hungry for more 80s music. So you picked a perfect time for this 30th anniversary tour.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, it's odd because you at the shows you really see that, but you don't really see that yet regarding radio. There's just not a lot of stations out there that, especially, they play the classic stuff, but they don't play the new stuff. So they do with country, though. There's lots of country stations that play all the new stuff as well as the classics. So maybe we're going to see a turn in rock where it gets to the level or the point where it used to be in the 70s and the 80s, which was really spectacular.
Wouldn't that be nice? Why do you think rock had its decline? Of course, I say the 90s is where the music went to die, but I don't make a lot of friends when I say that. I'm recording this from Seattle, so I can speak from experience having lived through the grunge era. And don't get me wrong, Dave Grohl, amazing artist. Alan, I'm not knocking him, but let's face it, the music of the 90s was very, very dark. So how did we not come out of that with rock thriving?
It was very dark, and it was really a completely different level and in a different place, musically speaking, too. And that's not to put those guys down.
No, not at all.
But I'm sorry, but, you know, you could list 100 exceptionally gifted guitarists to come out of the 80s when you might only be able to list 10 to come out of the 90s.
Right. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
It was more in the 70s and the 80s about the musicianship. In the 90s, it was more about the attitude.
Do you think that metal took a bad rap in the 80s because of the image and the pomp and circumstance, the fun that went along with it, and a lot of the musicians got ignored in that era for their talents because of the image?
Yeah, totally. And because of the image, I think it was looked at and referred to now especially as poser. If you had big hair and you wore, sparkly clothes, they couldn't have been good. They were poser. And we get that all the time. And all I have to do, I don't have to defend myself. I just say, go buy an album and tell me if we're posers.
Right.
Go listen to Soldiers Under Command and you tell me if we're posers.
What is your favorite song in the Stryper catalog? I've often wondered that.
Oh, man, I've got quite a few. I mean, I'll never get tired or it'll never get old, the song Soldiers Under Command.
Right.
I love playing that live. It's just so fun to play live. And then I love some of the new stuff that I haven't grown tired of yet, like Revelation off of No More Hell to Pay. But, man, I'm weird when it comes to Stryper songs or even solo songs. I tend to like the songs that not everyone else likes.
Right, and they're kind of like kids, too, right? How do you pick a favorite?
Well, yeah, exactly. I tend to go more for the, obscure songs. Like, for example, there's a song called Holding On To Hell with the Devil. We really hardly ever played it live. That's one of my favorite songs on the album. We're going to be playing it live on this tour.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I'm most excited about the tour is we get to play Holding On live, So it's one of my favorite songs, and oddly enough, I've been talking to fans, and I'm finding out that it's definitely an underground fan favorite as well.
So are you going to play just tracks off? So you're not just playing tracks off To Hell with the Devil.
Here's what we're doing. We're going to come out and play the entire To Hell with the Devil album in sequence, in order, just like the album. So we'll start with Abyss and go right into To Hell with the Devil, and then after we're done playing those songs, we might add a song or two at the very end, and then come back out and encore with 4 or 5 songs from other albums.
That's nice. That's nice. Now, will those alternate?
Oh yeah, and we're wearing the original outfits from To Hell with the Devil.
Great.
Yeah, we're putting on the old clothes, and we did it in Japan recently, and man, it was so well received. They went absolutely crazy, and it was a lot of fun. So we're going to be doing that every night for just over 2 months, 40-plus cities, and it's going to be fun, man. It's our 30th anniversary in celebration. That came out in October of '86, and we're thrilled.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Isn't that just unbelievable? Where is the time gone, Michael? Seriously.
I don't know. I don't know where the time has gone, and it's gone by really fast.
Yeah, it has.
And, as exciting as it is to look back at the history of the band and what we've done over the years, it's almost a little scary to see life go by so quickly. And that's why it's important to absolutely enjoy and savor every moment, because it is here and gone. The next 30 years will come and go very quickly.
But what an amazing legacy. Do you ever sit back? Do you ever get the opportunity to take a breath from recording and touring and home life and have some time to yourself and really reflect? I know you came out with the book, but do you ever just sit and think to yourself, what the band has accomplished, what you've accomplished? I
do. But, the way my personality is I don't really have the time or make the time to sit around and think about things. I just do them. So
right.
I'm like the Energizer Bunny, And when I was in Boston,
right.
When I was in the band Boston, they called me Tigger, because I was just like bouncing around, full of energy all the time. That's just how I am. So I don't have a lot of time to sit and think, man. I'm just doing it.
Right. I understand that. I completely understand where you're coming from there, because life can definitely pass you by if you sit around too much.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even really talk about Boston. That was cool. I mean, that to me kind of came out of nowhere.
It did. It came out of nowhere. It was certainly, as I like to call it, a curveball in my life, and unexpected. And I went and toured with them, and officially was in the band for I think like 4 years, going almost 5 years. And then I made a decision to leave Some people thought I was crazy for leaving Boston, but I never looked back. I have not one regret, and I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so happy that I did, because Stryper is my priority, and this is what I do, and I'm just thrilled to still be doing it. Stryper's still together, original lineup, touring, making music. We're busy. We're busier than we've ever been, and longer than we've ever been. So it was a fun bleep, or however you want to term it. It went by so quickly, but man, it was a great time. But here I am.
Did your time in Boston give you even a deeper appreciation for music?
Well, I mean, it gave me a deeper appreciation for a lot of things. Obviously, at the time, my wife was sick. It gave me a deeper appreciation for life. Gave me a deeper appreciation for being there for people. I know Tom was going through a real difficult time because Brad Delp had committed suicide.
Right.
And I felt like Tom and I were kind of there for each other, going through that dark time in our lives. So yeah, and then it gave me a deeper appreciation for the fans and the love of music, to go out every night and see 10,000 or 15,000, sometimes even upwards of 30 fans singing along to every song, and just all those classic Boston songs, and just thinking, wow, I grew up with this. A lot of pinch me moments on stage every night, God
really working mysteriously, right?
Yeah,
getting you in Boston.
Question.
If somebody would have asked you 10, 15 years ago, oh, Michael, you're going to be a member of Boston.
I would have laughed and thought you're absolutely out of your mind. And to do it at that time, you're talking about back in 2008, so I was, 45 years old. So, who goes and joins a band like Boston in their 40s? Not a lot of people.
Right. You are an example of how good guys are successful.
Amen.
I mean that.
Well, I try to be good, and I try to do good things. And through the music that I feel God's given me, I want to inspire and encourage people. And that's why I do this. And I want to do as much of it as I can before I go and before I leave this earth. And because I want to help change lives and make people feel like there's hope in their lives.
Yeah, we need that now more than ever, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully we'll be talking again in 10 more years. The 40th anniversary of To Hell with the Devil. How about that?
Let's make it 20. Make it the 50th anniversary. Let's do both.
Let's do it. I love it, my friend. Well, Michael Sweet, thanks for joining us on Beats and Eats. Much appreciated.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Thank you, and God bless everyone listening.
So great to hear from Michael Sweet from Stryper. An interesting story he tells about joining Boston as well late in his career. So we talked about reinventing ourselves during the interview, and Michael certainly did that, but he's back and stronger than ever with his new solo album, One-Sided War, and back with the 30th anniversary tour of To Hell with the Devil. Check him out, coming to an arena near you. Good to hear Michael doing so well.
Did you just say good to see you? Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see you, Michael.
Anyway, yeah,
I wish.
on that note, we're out of here.
Yeah, the lounge is closed.
The virtual lounge is now closed. For Beats and Eats, I'm your bartender, Scott Mitchell. Until next week, hey, you stay cool.